Whoa, so this is a series I want to start, which is I don't have the budget to make it, so let me tell you the story. So this is a movie I actually wrote. It's not a script form yet, but it's in a story form. Technically, some parts are missing, so please put that in mind. So the whole story takes place in around 2050 an ecotech world. So our main character, which is Alan, Alan has this power, and his power is that he can whatever he says will come to pass like instantly. He so how Alan first discovers about his power. Technically, he didn't even know he used his power that time, but he was arguing with his father, and then when he was arguing with his father, he got angry and was like, "Dad, I wish you just die." And then the father died, and then and then the mother, you know, and then he was taken to an orphanage home, and then during in the orphanage home, some events happened which will never be stated in the story, but some events happened, and they had a genocide, a massacre. They were killed brutally, a lot of people. But our main character, Arlen, happened to escape and run to the forest and started living to the forest. So a few months after that, he meets this dude in the forest. Basically, bro is bruised with so much car parts like glasses, doors, all this shit, and irons in his body. And like he's bleeding, but he's still walking, you understand? This is our second character. His name is Kyle. His ability is that he has durable skin, very strong skin, so it's almost unpenetrable, but it is penetrable. So yes, he can't die of bullets and shit. But so Kyle has a sister, by the way. And in this story, I've not given his sister a name, but the sister ability is that she has immortality. So when Kyle and his sister was hit by a car, they were hit by a car. His sister fell and died, of course. And he was not dead. He just had those bruises and whatever in his body. So when came to the forest to like, he thought his sister is dead. He was really like heartbroken. And our main character, and Arlen was like, oh shit, I can actually help somebody, because it's like everybody in his life has just been dying. So he decides to help Kyle, and helps Kyle to like gain back his strength and remove all the glass pieces, and him and Kyle become best buds. And then Kyle tells him, as they are going, Kyle tells him a story of how he was small and what they told him about his parents. When Kyle was born, his parents put him in a boat and shipped him Moses style. Yeah, so they shipped him in a boat, just left him in a boat. And when they gave birth to his sister, they took her to an orphanage home and left her there. And then Kyle was found and was taken to the same orphanage home. And then a DNA test was being run due for some like experiment, because they are trying to like, there was a disease passing. So he now found out that the girl was his sister, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then they decided to start bonding. And then when him and his sister decided to leave the place, that's when they had the accident and all of that. And Kyle thinks his sister is dead. His sister wakes up, and she wakes up in the hospital, because the doctors and everybody around her think she's dead. And when she wakes up, they're like, yo, this must be a miracle and shit. So everybody's like, you understand, mirror and marvel about what just happened. And then she runs out of fear, runs out of the hospital and gets hit by a car again. I know it sounds gruesome, but after she gets hit by this car, when they bring her, this time the doctor still confirm her dead. And like literally her heart stopped beating like for a long period of time. And when they're about to do all those things they will do to bury somebody, she wakes up. And when she wakes up, they're like, damn. And that is when this whole plot starts, where they then some scientists are there, they are informed. And this is all under one big project, which is called the project. The project doesn't have a name. I told you this series was incomplete. So it's under a project. And the wait, what was that? Okay, it's under a project, and this project was testing sick kids back in the days to see if they could make a drug that could like completely remove illness permanently from the body. But the project was dropped because the illness, this thing only like healed the kids and like didn't take other illnesses away. So and that is why the project was cancelled. But when they found out they had somebody who was first tested under this project and now has basically immortality, basically, she was like, they were like, damn, we need to get back on this shit and start like cooking it up, because of course it's a person where, and then they started finding out other people if they had powers and testing them and shit. And let's go back to our main character. So Alan and Kyle have been in the forest together for like 2 years now. And then Kyle goes out doing to find food because they stay in the forest. And when Kyle goes out to find food, he sees this girl who is like basically hot, who is hot. And he decides to help her, of course, because he has this guilt that he couldn't save his sister. So now that he can save somebody, let him at least save somebody. So he decides to help her. So after he saves her, her name, she also don't have a name. Her her name was basically the shape shifting girl because her power is that she can shape shift to different animals. So after Kyle saves her and bring her back, they're like, you know, Allen is like not too like he doesn't talk much due to his power because he's scared. He's scared that after realizing his power, he's scared that what he does, whatever he says can affect people, and he feels like everybody in his life has been controlled by his power to get, because Alan didn't have a rough life. He lived in the suburbs and he had friends, so he feels like all his friends and all his family and everything he got was because his power, and he didn't actually earn any of the things he got. So